8 cylinders of foreign car stomping power, it's the Medicare for the Lazy Man podcast. The roadside vegetable stand of Medicare podcasts. He wonders why Lucas McCain never carried a pistol. It's Medicare expert Doug Jones.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have arrived at the Medicare for the Lazy Man podcast. Welcome to you, I say. And I am, as Drew McMillan, my Canadian nephew, told you, Doug Jones, your Medicare expert. Now, I may only be a Medicare specialist, and apparently the federal government has decided to hire a staff of people to determine the meanings of those words, and they're discouraging the use of Medicare expert. But I say pox upon the federal government. I'm going to continue to use it whenever I feel like it. Anyway, welcome to the Medicare for the Lazy Man podcast. We are here hopefully to help you learn about Medicare and to feel comfortable about the approach of the transition from Obamacare to Medicare, so that you will have health insurance going into your future that will give you confidence, allow you to sleep soundly at night, and will not drain your resources if the worst should happen. I help people as an insurance agent prepare for the worst, but I help them do it in such a way that they don't have to pay a lot of money for their protection. And that's something that you and I can discuss in greater detail when you think the time is right for you to start making your Medicare plans. In the meantime, how might you come to the decision about making your Medicare plans? Well, you could read my book. It won't take you very long. It won't cost you very much. And when you have finished reading my book, you will be more of a Medicare expert than almost anybody else in the United States. Very few people will know more about Medicare than you, and it's only going to take you about an hour to an hour and a half to acquire that knowledge. What's the name of the book, you say, as you hold your pencil poised over your notepad? The name of the book is Medicare for the Lazy Man 2023. And if you were to go to barnesandnoble.com or especially amazon.com and type that into the search window, Medicare for the Lazy Man 2023, you're going to see the various types of volumes that are displayed that are available for your purchase, from extremely inexpensive, under $4 for the Kindle ebook version, up to a magnificent $22 hardcover gift quality item that should be sold in jewelry stores all across this land. It is a magnificent creation suitable for gifting to your friends or loved ones that might be in their early 60s thinking about the approach of Medicare. In the middle, in between, in terms of price, are a paperback for $8 and even an audio book for, I think, somewhere around $6. Any of those choices are going to be of excellent use to those who need to learn about Medicare. So Medicare for the Lazy Man 2023. One of the people who has got the most enthusiastic kudos to the book is a guy named Randy Carson. We happen to have him in the studio today. He's sitting right across the screen from me. Randy, do you think this is a good investment for somebody to make if they need to learn about Medicare?
Oh my gosh, yes.
I mean, I'm going to quote you on that then.
Yeah, just speaking personally, I mean, back when I was looking for Medicare, I really wasn't looking for it, to be honest with you. I was avoiding it as long as humanly possible, but my wife, being the forward planner that she is, decided that would be a bad idea. So she started doing a lot of research, and I was more than happy to let her do it. And ultimately, I stumbled across information that Margaret had developed. And oddly enough, because of that information, we made the right choice. But then later on, we started working with Doug. And oddly enough, all the information that he shares with you is what we would have needed back then to make the right choice.
Well, absolutely.
So Definitely get yourself a book. Oftentimes at different parts of the year, keep checking back. We offer specials. One of the common ones we offer coming into the end of the year, holiday season, is ultimately you can order three and pay for three, and that's a really nice deal.
Well, the cool thing that happened to you, I mean, obviously Margaret did her research thoroughly and made the right choice, and you were not stuck in the Medicare Advantage doldrums. But the interesting thing is that her research and findings were the same as mine. But how is it that so many other people need help? And when they don't get it, they wind up being stuck with a Medicare Advantage plan that is often exceedingly disappointing. That's a tragedy. And I'm here to help avoid that tragedy in as many lives as I can.
Well, the big problem, at least in my case, is things that I don't understand, I avoid.
Yeah.
And Medicare certainly is not something that's easily understood, but you're going to look at that and say, wow, that was a comment that I don't believe now because I read Doug's book and I get it. I understand it. It's not complicated. What is it, about 90 pages now?
Actually, it's closer to 80 pages.
Okay, well, you can get yourself a beer. Guinness, I would certainly recommend Guinness, but get yourself a Guinness, sit down over, like at the kitchen table or wherever you can do this. Read the book. You'll know everything you need to know about Medicare and what pitfalls to avoid. And then what you want to do then is understand that licensed agents like Doug, who operate nationwide, will be your best friend. And
sure,
that is certainly Doug Jones.
You can go to the magnificent website after finishing the book, and Randy and Margaret have created a Medicare playground. And your encounter with that website would be very short and sweet. It's basically, tell me what I need to know. And it's a short questionnaire that you can fill out, and we will jump into action. We'll spring into action. So anyway, we have a whole bunch of items that we could be discussing, Medicare podcast content subjects. And I thought maybe you could help me, Randy, in selecting. There's so many here, I can't decide which the audience would be most interested in. So I'm going to leave that up to you.
Well, you know which one I'm going to go for.
Well, I think you should not make me guess what's going on inside your head.
I am so enthralled with Medicare scam Vantage plans and everything Medicare Advantage. I want to go with the Joe Namath Big Thread.
Okay, very good. Let me dig that out of the stack here. And it is not buried too far down. Let's see. Okay, here is the article, and it is entitled, Why Joe Namath May Be the Biggest Threat to Your Retirement. Actually, it's designed for insurance professionals. So it really says why Joe Namath may be the biggest threat to your client's retirement. And this comes from the same think tank that I quoted previously. Diane Omdahl in Wisconsin is a Medicare expert, and she has a colleague who writes some articles about Medicare, and Diane writes some articles about Medicare. This is done by the colleague Melinda Cahill, I believe is the proper pronunciation of her name. Anyway, it was written last May, but it's still as timely as the day is. The calendar pages that are coming off of calendars all over America today. So let's dig into this. Why Joe Namath may be the biggest threat to your client's retirement. The commercials are relentless, cleverly nestled between episodes of Matlock and the Golden Girls. Each ad features a boomer-friendly celebrity like Joe Namath, Mike Ditka, Jimmy J.J. Walker, breathlessly imploring viewers to find out if they're missing out on important new Medicare benefits and to do so now before it's too late. Call the number on your screen now, urges Broadway Joe in one Medicare Advantage plan spot. It's free. And call they do. After all, agents are standing by to help them make one of the most pivotal financial decisions of their retirement, a decision that can blindside their financial advisor and throw even the most carefully crafted retirement plan for a loss, sometimes a very big loss. And the next headline in this article, how ignoring healthcare costs in retirement can turn into a financial fumble. The seniors, and I don't like that word, the people these ads target often already have very good Medicare insurance. They may be enrolled in Medicare Parts A and B with a Medigap policy, or Medicare supplement as I like to call it, and a Part D prescription drug plan. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I set up my clients with. Medicare Parts A and B that they enroll in directly with the federal government, and then I help them with a Medicare supplement and the best Part D prescription drug plan for them. With this type of coverage, people can count on highly predictable healthcare costs. They pay monthly premiums for the Medicare supplement policy and the drug plan, but they have few, if any, additional out-of-pocket costs for healthcare services. In addition, this type of coverage does not have networks. The individual may see any provider throughout the country who accepts Medicare. And contrary to popular belief, 99% of providers accept Medicare. The medical providers are the ones who make the healthcare decisions, not the insurance company. If a doctor says that the patient needs a service, they get it. There is no prior authorization from an insurance company required. But here's how the Medicare Advantage plans touted in those Joe Namath Medicare commercials can endanger a person's financial health. With Medicare Advantage, the predictable costs are gone, replaced by an unpredictable hodgepodge of copays and deductibles. Now, whenever a person uses healthcare services, they'll pay maybe $20 here, $45 here, maybe $320 per day for hospitalization for up to 6 days. Plus, patients with Medicare Advantage plans must be conscious of provider networks. Networks can be especially problematic for people who travel, something that many retirees do, almost as much as going to a doctor's appointment. If their journeys take them outside of the network, they cannot assume that they have coverage. If they do not have coverage but see a doctor anyway, they may wind up paying for the entire cost of the service out of their pocket. Prior authorization requirements are also commonplace with Medicare Advantage. In fact, 99% of Medicare Advantage plans include prior authorization. If a patient doesn't get prior authorization but utilizes the healthcare service anyway, they will be required to pay 100% of the cost, regardless of any out-of-pocket spending limits. Spending limits only apply when the plan members follow the rules of the Medicare Advantage insurance companies. Going out of network when not allowed or not getting prior authorization means that the patient will pay everything themselves. All of these little unexpected healthcare expenses can add up to one giant catastrophic hit to a retiree's retirement savings. No instant replays. There's one more thing that Joe Namath doesn't mention. When participants switch coverage to Medicare Advantage, they may never be able to switch back to the coverage they had before. Some who try Medicare Advantage for the first time may qualify for a 12-month trial period, but not everyone does. If they don't, or if they wait 12 months and 1 day to switch back, they may not be able to get back their Medicare supplement policy without going through medical underwriting, which gives the insurance company an opportunity to deny the Medicare supplement coverage that they used to take for granted. So it says that you should have a Medicare talk with your clients. All Medicare Advantage plans or celebrity spokesmen are not bad. The plans may be right for a limited group of retirees, say, for instance, those who don't mind the risk of unpredictable costs. The point is that Medicare options are often confusing, and the consequences of just one little mistake can be devastating. That's why it's so critical that advisors talk to their clients about Medicare. Advisors spend years helping clients and craft and execute a perfect retirement investment strategy. One Medicare misstep can upend even the best laid plans, leaving nest eggs and an advisor's assets under management to quickly drain away to pay bills that people never expected to have. Clients should be able to rely on their trusted financial advisor to help them with all important decisions that they have to make under Medicare. And that's pretty much the way it winds up here. The rest of it is addressed to financial advisors. And I am not a financial advisor. I only advise people to the extent of what they ought to be able to do and what they should do if they're smart about protecting themselves from medical expenses under Medicare. All right, Randy, got another dart in your quiver? Can you throw another one at the target and see what we hit?
I do. I am going to go with everyone is equal, but some are more equal than others.
Okay. And I thought that was very cleverly written. I wrote that myself as a throwback to the Animal House that I read when I was in high school. Animal House, written by George Orwell, about the group of farm animals that take over the farm after the death of the farmer. Death or disappearance. I think he probably died. And so, as being the most intelligent, the pigs took over responsibility. The other animals needed some guidance as to how to best handle the things on the farm. Did you ever read that book, Randy? Okay, well, the pigs...
I did not.
The pigs moved themselves into the farmer's house and, in fact, took over the bedroom furniture and the living room furniture. And they set themselves up as an exalted class. And they said, all of us are equal, just like in communist Russia, interestingly enough, or perhaps in communist China. The mantra was that all animals are equal. Some are more equal than others, though. And that's why the pigs got the best of everything, because they told the other animals that they really didn't deserve the best. And even though everybody was equal, some were more equal than others. Well, this is a little blurb out of Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas. They, instead of thanking their brokers like most insurance companies do, thank you for selling our products, and we're very happy that you are helping to sell our products, and we want to help you sell our products. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas had devised a way to reward a class of agents and raise them, elevate them above all of the other agents. And that is to have them join the exclusive preferred agent program. The exclusive preferred agent program at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas, they're excited to offer our preferred agents a program that selected agents will have the opportunity to sell one of the fastest growing Medicare Advantage carriers with the most recognized brand. Here are some program highlights. They get monthly administrative allowances up to $2,000 if they sell Medicare Advantage plans. They get top Medicare Advantage commissions. They get a lead program they can participate in. They get access to Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas events, and they get hands-on training, coaching, service, and support. It says apply now. So I clicked on that to see what the application process was like. And I answered the first 5 or 6 questions without a problem. And then it started asking me nosy questions about how many Medicare Advantage plans I sell. And my answer is none, because it's not helpful. Yeah, goose egg, 0, as Randy's holding up his, looks like an okay sign, but I know he means 0. And that is because I don't want the headaches from unhappy clients. When I talk to a client and I offer them advice, my advice is designed to keep them as happy as humanly possible so that they don't call me and say, hey, I don't like the product you sold me. I never want to get a phone call like that from a valued client. So that's why some agents in Texas that deal with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas are going to be more equal than other agents of Texas. And I'm going to be one of the unequal ones. What else do we have there, Randy? Or have we heard the crickets yet?
We are 51 seconds away from hearing the crickets.
Okay, I believe some of these are pretty short. Grab an item, and I will see how quickly I can plow through it.
Medicare reimbursement cutbacks.
That's a quick one. I've got some headlines here. I don't have the full articles because all of these articles that are quoted are subscription only, and I refuse to pay the subscription prices. However, the big headline on this series of articles is CMS. Now, that is the government agency that runs Medicare, and they're too dumb to properly spell their own acronym. That is the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, CMMS, but they persist in only calling it CMS. They drop an M, and they can't seem to find it. I don't know where that M they dropped went. But anyway, big headline this morning that I saw, CMS signals that Medicare Advantage payments will decline in 2024. That sounded pretty exciting to me. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services previewed Wednesday its 2024 payments and rates for Medicare Advantage. While a rate increase is proposed, insurers could see an average 2.3% cut to baseline payments. This one organization reports. I think that's a good start. Let's stop enriching the Medicare Advantage plans, whose primary activity in the insurance business is to rip off the federal government by lying to them about how ill the patients that they cover are. The next article, this is from an outfit. Biden administration floats major 2024 pay cut for Medicare Advantage plans. Now, that was pretty exciting. It's confirmation of the first headline. And then from Modern Healthcare, CMS issues Medicare Advantage 2024 payment policy notice. Medicare Advantage rates, will rise by 2.09% next year, in line with expectations. And then I see another article. Medicare Advantage plans get a proposed 1.03% payment increase in 2024. So the first two articles say that they get a decrease, and then the next two articles say they get an increase. So not only am I confused, but I'm also frustrated, and I can imagine Randy is scratching his head going, what the heck? Why are these articles proposing or reporting news that seems to have opposite intentions? And I just don't know. I don't have a good answer for Randy. So that was the short item there, Randy. My confusion over what their payments.
Well, as a good friend of mine used to say back in the Midwest, I am confused at a much higher level now.
Yeah, I'm sorry to do that to you.
I've got a couple things that I've got to take care of before our 75 cents runs out. One real short one. In the previous podcast that we recorded a couple days ago, we talked about the fact that the first public toilet had been announced back in the 1850s in London. So this is kind of a little side stump the insurance expert question.
I'm ready for that. I'm ready to be stumped.
Who invented the toilet? At least in Britain.
A guy named Thomas Crapper is often given credit for inventing the toilet, but I think what he invented was the flushing mechanism, the thing inside the toilet tank that flushes and refills. So is the correct answer Thomas Crapper?
Yes, it
Okay.
is. You have regained your reputation on Stump the Insurance Expert.
Heavy is the crown that sits upon the head of the stumped insurance guy.
I know. And the other thing I wanted to let people know, get your pencils out, because I will give you the 800 number to talk to Joe Namath's people about Medicare Advantage.
Get what you deserve.
And it is this 1-800-SCAM-VANTAGE. Okay. And you will get a hold of Joe Namath's people right off the spot. And the other thing I would mention, I've mentioned it a couple times, is that as of the beginning of 2023, which is where we're at today, the Mayo Clinic, which is a name that you probably will recognize, has refused any more Medicare Advantage plans in their organization. So should tell you something, folks.
Yep, those people know how to run a medical facility, and apparently they're not having a good experience with Medicare Advantage patients. So they're not accepting Medicare Advantage payments anymore.
We're sticking with our guns here, Doug. The other thing I wanted to mention is that Doug is a nationwide licensed agent for Medicare supplement plans. And he is somebody that you ought to get in touch with because he absolutely will steer you down the right path. And you can get a hold of him at dbj@mlmmailbag.com. You can put in a questionnaire at medicareforthelazyman.com, or you can do the books. We've talked about the books, but before we sign off for today, don't forget, we would love to have you look up somewhere to give us 5 stars on the podcast and 5 stars on Doug's book, Medicare for the Lazy Man, the 2023 orange version. So we have just spent about 32 and a half minutes with Doug Jones, the anti-insurance insurance guy from Oklahoma, no more living up in the high mountains behind Cave Creek, Arizona, in his fortress of solitude.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you for joining us.